Hyunwoo Kim wiped the sweat from his face as he worked deep inside the crystal mine. The air was hot and heavy, filled with the sound of drilling machines and workers shouting to each other. He had been on the planet Kepler 442c for 8 months now, digging for the special quantum crystals that everyone wanted so badly. The crystals glowed with a soft blue light in the dark tunnels. They were beautiful, but Hyunwoo knew they were also dangerous. These crystals could power spaceships to travel between stars. That was why both humans and the alien race called the Vallani fought over this planet. Hyunwoo stopped his drilling machine and looked at his watch. Almost time for lunch break. He was tired and his back hurt from bending over all morning. But he needed this job. The money he made here would pay for his little sister's medical treatment back on Earth. She was sick and the doctor said she needed expensive medicine to get better. "Hey, Hyunwoo," called his friend Taemin Park from across the tunnel. "Come look at this crystal I found. It's huge." Hyunwoo walked over to where Taemin was working. His friend was right. The crystal was the biggest one he had seen in weeks. It would be worth a lot of money. "That's amazing," Hyunwoo said. "The company will pay us extra for finding one this big." Taemin smiled. "Maybe we can both go home early. I miss my girlfriend back on Earth." The two friends had known each other since they were children. They grew up in the same poor neighborhood and decided to come to this dangerous planet together. The mining company promised good money, but they did not tell them about the war. When humans first came to Kepler 442c 3 years ago, they thought it was empty. But they were wrong. The Vallani had been living here for hundreds of years. The aliens looked different from humans. Their skin was hard like crystal and changed colors when they were angry or sad. They were taller than humans and had 4 arms instead of 2. At first, humans and Vallani tried to share the planet. But both sides wanted the crystals. The crystals were rare and very valuable. Soon, small fights started. Then bigger fights. Now it was a real war. Hyunwoo did not like fighting. He came here to work, not to be a soldier. But Captain Jae-ho Lee, the human military commander, said all workers had to help defend the mines. So Hyunwoo learned how to use a gun, even though he did not want to. Suddenly, loud sirens started blaring through the tunnels. The sound echoed off the walls and hurt their ears. Red lights flashed on and off. "Alert! Alert! Vallani forces attacking the east entrance. All workers evacuate immediately," came a voice over the speakers. Hyunwoo's heart started beating fast. This was not a drill. The aliens were really attacking. "Come on!" Taemin grabbed his arm. "We need to get out of here now." They ran through the tunnels with dozens of other workers. Everyone was scared and pushing to get out faster. Some people fell down and others helped them up. The sirens kept wailing. As they reached the main entrance, Hyunwoo could hear explosions outside. The ground shook under their feet. Through the entrance, he saw flashes of light in the sky. Human and Vallani spaceships were fighting above them. Captain Lee was standing near the entrance with his soldiers. He was a tough man who did not smile much. He had fought in other wars before coming to this planet. All workers grab weapons from the storage room. Captain Lee shouted, "The aliens are trying to take our main mining facility. We cannot let them succeed." Hyunwoo did not want to fight, but he had no choice. He took a laser rifle from the storage room. It felt heavy and cold in his hands. Taemin took one too, along with some other miners. "Stay close to me," Taemin said. "We'll watch each other's backs." They followed Captain Lee and his soldiers outside. The mining facility was built in a valley surrounded by rocky hills. The Vallani were attacking from 3 different directions. Their ships fired bright energy beams that exploded when they hit the ground. Hyunwoo saw his first Vallani soldier up close. The alien was tall and moved very fast. Its crystal skin was dark red, which meant it was angry. It carried a strange weapon that shot balls of electricity. "Shoot them," Captain Lee ordered. Hyunwoo aimed his rifle but hesitated. The Vallani looked scared too. Maybe it also had a family somewhere. Maybe it did not want to fight either. But then the alien shot at him. The electricity ball hit the rock next to Hyunwoo's head. He ducked down and fired back without thinking. The battle was loud and chaotic. Humans and Vallani ran everywhere, shooting at each other. The air smelled like burning metal and ozone. Hyunwoo stayed behind rocks and tried not to get hit. During a break in the fighting, he saw something that made him stop. A group of Vallani were not soldiers. They looked like families with children. They were running away from the battle, trying to escape. "Taemin," he said, "look over there. Those aliens aren't fighting. They're just trying to get away." Taemin looked where Hyunwoo pointed. "So what? They're still aliens. They don't belong on our planet." But some of them are just civilians, like us. Don't think about it too much, Taemin said. Captain Lee says they're all enemies. We need to focus on staying alive. The fighting continued for hours. As the sun started to set, both sides were tired and running low on ammunition. Many people were hurt on both sides. Then Hyunwoo heard a new sound. More ships were coming. Big ones. The ground shook as they flew overhead. Captain Lee looked worried for the first time. "Vellani reinforcements," he said into his radio, requesting immediate backup. But Hyunwoo could see in the captain's eyes that help would not come in time. They were outnumbered and outgunned. The Vellani were going to win this battle. As darkness fell over the mining facility, the sirens started wailing again. This time it meant something different. It meant they might not survive the night. The night was long and full of fear. Hyunwoo and the other humans hid in the crystal tunnels while Vellani ships flew overhead. The aliens did not attack during the dark hours, but everyone knew they would come back when the sun rose. Hyunwoo could not sleep. He kept thinking about his little sister Ji-young back on Earth. She was only 12 years old and very sick. The doctor said she needed special medicine that cost a lot of money. That was why he came to this dangerous planet. He needed to earn enough money to save her life. Ji-young had always been small and weak, but she was very smart and kind. She loved to read books about space and aliens. When Hyunwoo told her he was going to work on another planet, she was excited for him. "Maybe you'll meet friendly aliens," she had said with a big smile, "and maybe they'll have medicine that can make me better." Now Hyunwoo wondered what she would think about this war. Ji-young always believed that people could be friends if they tried to understand each other. But here, humans and Vellani only fought. "You're thinking too much again," Taemin said from across the tunnel. "Get some rest. Tomorrow will be another hard day." "I keep thinking about my sister," Hyunwoo replied. "She's so young and innocent. She doesn't know about wars and fighting." "That's exactly why we're here," Taemin said. "To protect people like her. The aliens want to take everything from us. If we don't fight, they'll spread across the galaxy and hurt more humans." Hyunwoo wanted to believe his friend, but something felt wrong. The Vellani families he saw running away looked scared, just like human families would be. They had children too. Maybe those children were also innocent. When morning came, Captain Lee gathered all the workers who could still fight. Many people were hurt from yesterday's battle. Some had been taken to the medical center with serious wounds. "The Vellani will attack again soon," Captain Lee said. "They want to capture our main crystal storage facility. If they succeed, we'll lose everything we've worked for." The captain's face was dirty and tired. He had not slept either. "I know you're not soldiers. You came here to work in the mines. But now we must all fight together or we'll all die together." Hyunwoo checked his laser rifle. It still felt strange in his hands. He was an engineer, not a warrior. But he thought about Ji-young again. He needed to survive this war so he could go home and help her. The attack came at noon when the sun was highest in the sky. Vellani ships appeared over the hills like dark birds. They flew fast and quiet, dropping soldiers near the crystal storage building. "Spread out," Captain Lee shouted. "Don't let them group together." The humans ran to different positions around the facility. Hyunwoo and Taemin found cover behind some metal boxes near the main entrance. From there, they could see the large building where all the valuable crystals were kept. The Vellani soldiers moved differently than humans. They were faster and more coordinated. Their crystal skin changed colors as they communicated with each other. When they were ready to attack, their skin turned bright orange. "Here they come," Taemin said. The battle was even fiercer than the day before. Both sides knew this fight would decide who controlled the mining facility. Laser beams flew through the air like deadly lightning. Explosions shook the ground. Hyunwoo aimed carefully and fired at the alien soldiers. He tried not to think about whether they had families too. He just focused on protecting himself and his friend. But then something happened that changed everything. A group of Vellani civilians had been hiding in the crystal caves during the battle. Now they were trying to escape while the soldiers fought. There were about 20 of them, including several children. At the same time, some human workers who had been trapped in the storage building were also trying to run to safety. Both groups were heading toward the same open area between the buildings. A Vellani soldier on the hill above them pulled out a round metal object. Hyunwoo recognized it immediately. It was an ion grenade. These weapons created a ball of electricity that could kill anyone within 50 meters. The Soldier threw the grenade toward the open area where both humans and Vallani, civilians, were running. Time seemed to slow down. Hyunwoo watched the grenade fly through the air. He calculated where it would land. It would explode right in the middle of the fleeing people. At least 30 innocent people would die, both human and alien. Among the Vallani civilians, he saw a young girl who had fallen down. She was trying to get up, but her leg was hurt. She looked to be about the same age as his sister Ji-young. Her skin was a pale blue color, which meant she was afraid. The girl looked up and saw the grenade coming toward her. Her large eyes were wide with terror. She reminded Hyunwoo so much of his sister that his heart ached. Hyunwoo, don't even think about it. Taemin grabbed his arm. It's too dangerous. But Hyunwoo was already moving. He jumped over the metal boxes and ran toward the open area. His mining exosuit gave him extra strength and speed, but he still might not make it in time. You crazy fool, Taemin shouted behind him. They're aliens. Let them die! Hyunwoo did not stop. He could not let innocent people die, even if they were supposed to be his enemies. His sister had taught him that all life was precious. She would want him to save the alien girl, just like she would want someone to save her if she was in danger. The grenade was falling fast. Hyunwoo reached the open area and dove toward it. His exosuit's enhanced arms grabbed the metal sphere just before it hit the ground. For a moment, he thought about throwing it away from the people. But there was not enough time. The grenade would explode in 3 seconds no matter what he did. So Hyunwoo made a choice that only a human would make. He pulled the grenade against his chest and curled his body around it. His exosuit's armor might protect some of the people behind him. Get down, he shouted to everyone nearby. The alien girl was closest to him. She was still on the ground, staring at him with those large, frightened eyes. He smiled at her, thinking of Ji-young. The ion grenade exploded. Electricity shot through Hyunwoo's body like fire. His exosuit's systems overloaded and sparked. Pain filled every part of him as the electrical current attacked his nervous system. He felt his muscles stop working and his vision go dark. But just before he lost consciousness, he saw the alien girl sitting up. She was alive. The humans behind him were alive too. His sacrifice had worked. The last thing Hyunwoo saw were those large alien eyes watching him fall. They were no longer afraid. Now they showed something else. Something that looked like gratitude and wonder. Then everything went black. Hyunwoo's eyes opened slowly. Everything was white and bright. He blinked several times, trying to understand where he was. This was not the dark crystal mine or the rocky battlefield. This place was clean and quiet. He tried to move his arms, but they felt heavy and strange. Looking down, he saw his body was covered with a thin, glowing blanket. Wires and tubes connected to his skin, and strange machines beeped softly around him. He is awake, said a voice nearby. Hyunwoo turned his head and gasped. 3 tall figures stood next to his bed. They were Vallani aliens. Their crystal skin was a calm green color, and they wore white clothing like doctors. Fear filled Hyunwoo's mind. He was in enemy hands. They had captured him while he was unconscious. Now they would probably torture him for information about human military plans. He tried to sit up, but his body would not obey him. His legs felt numb and his arms were very weak. Do not move too much, said the closest Vallani. Your nervous system was badly damaged by the ion grenade. We are still repairing it. The alien spoke through a small device that translated its harmonic language into human words. Its voice sounded calm and gentle, not angry or threatening. My name is Dr. Kiran, the alien continued. These are my colleagues, Nurse Yella and Specialist Doran. We have been taking care of you for 5 days. 5 days? Hyunwoo tried to remember what happened. The battle, the grenade, the alien girl. The girl, he whispered. Is she alive? Dr. Kiran's skin shifted to a warmer blue color. Yes, she is alive because of what you did. Her name is Nari. She has been asking about you every day. Hyunwoo felt relief wash over him. His sacrifice had worked. The innocent people were safe. Why are you helping me? He asked. I'm your enemy. Nurse Yella moved closer to check one of the machines. Her skin was a soft purple color. You saved our people. That makes you not our enemy. But I fought against your soldiers. I shot at them. Yes, Dr. Kiran said. But when it mattered most, you chose to save lives instead of taking them. That tells us who you really are. Hyunwoo looked around the medical room. It was very advanced, with technology he had never seen before. The walls seemed to be made of living crystal that pulsed with soft light. The air smelled clean and fresh. This is our civilian medical facility, Specialist Doran explained. We brought you here after the battle ended. Your human friends think you are dead. Dead? Hyunwoo's heart sank. If Taemin thought he was dead, his friend would tell the mining company. They would tell his family on Earth. His sister Ji-young would think her big brother was never coming home. We can send a message to your people, Dr. Kieran offered. But first you need to heal more. The ion grenade damaged many of your nerve pathways. Without our biocrystal healing technology, you would have died. Over the next few hours, Hyunwoo learned more about his situation. The Vellani had found him barely alive after the explosion. When they saw what he had done to save their civilians, they decided to help him instead of letting him die. The healing process was unlike anything humans had. The Vellani used special crystals that could repair damaged tissue at the cellular level. They placed these crystals on his body, and he could feel warm energy flowing through him. Your people and our people are very different, Dr. Kieran said while adjusting the healing crystals. Humans act on emotion and instinct. Vellani think carefully before making decisions. But what you did, that was something special. I just couldn't let innocent people die, Hyunwoo replied. It didn't matter if they were human or alien. That is exactly what makes it special, Nurse Yella said. Most beings would only save their own kind. As the days passed, Hyunwoo slowly regained feeling in his arms and legs. The Vellani medical team was very skilled and patient. They explained everything they were doing and answered all his questions. He learned that this particular group of Vellani were mostly civilians who had been living peacefully on the planet for generations. They had not wanted to fight humans at first. The war started because of misunderstandings and fear on both sides. Many of our people are refugees, Dr. Kieran explained. We came here to escape conflicts in other parts of the galaxy. We just wanted a quiet place to live and raise our families. This surprised Hyunwoo. Captain Lee had told them that all Vellani were aggressive warriors who wanted to conquer human space. But these aliens seemed peaceful and kind. On the 7th day, a small figure appeared in the doorway of his room. It was Nari, the young Vellani girl he had saved. She was about the same height as his sister Ji-young, but her skin was a beautiful silver color with streaks of blue. Nari walked slowly toward his bed, looking shy and nervous. In her 4 hands, she carried a small crystal that glowed with warm light. She made that for you, Dr. Kieran translated as Nari spoke in harmonic tones. It is a gratitude crystal. Our people give them to those who have done great kindness. Nari placed the crystal on the table next to Hyunwoo's bed. Then she looked at him with those large eyes he remembered from the battlefield. She spoke again in her musical language. She says thank you for saving her life, Dr. Kieran translated. She says you are the bravest person she has ever met. Hyunwoo felt tears in his eyes. Tell her she reminds me of my little sister back on Earth. Tell her that any good person would have done the same thing. When Dr. Kieran translated this, Nari's skin turned a bright, happy yellow. She spoke excitedly. She wants to know about your sister, Dr. Kieran said. She asks if your sister is sick because she can sense sadness in you when you mention her. Hyunwoo was amazed. Could this alien child really sense his emotions? He told Nari about Ji-young's illness and how he came to this planet to earn money for her medicine. Nari listened carefully, her skin changing colors as she felt different emotions. When he finished, she spoke seriously to Dr. Kieran. She says her grandmother is a healing master, Dr. Kieran translated. She wants to know if Vellani biocrystal technology could help your sister. Hyunwoo stared at the alien girl. Even after everything that had happened after the war and the fighting, she wanted to help him save his sister. She was offering to share her people's advanced medicine with a human. For the first time since waking up, Hyunwoo began to wonder if everything he had been told about the war was true. Maybe the real enemies were not in this room. 2 weeks after waking up in the Vellani medical facility, Hyunwoo could walk again. The biocrystal healing had worked better than any human medicine. His nervous system was almost completely repaired and he felt stronger than before. During his recovery, he spent many hours talking with Dr. Kieran and the other Vellani. He learned their language slowly and they learned some Korean words from him. Nari visited him every day, and they had become good friends despite not sharing the same language. But something was bothering Dr. Kieran. The alien doctor seemed worried and kept checking his communication devices. One morning he came to Hyunwoo's room with a serious expression. We have discovered something very disturbing, Dr. Kieran said. The war between your people and mine may not be what it appears to be. Hyunwoo sat up in his bed. What do you mean? Dr. Kiran activated a holographic display that showed images and data. We have been monitoring communications from both human and Villani military forces. There are strange patterns in the orders being given to both sides. The hologram showed message logs and battle reports. Hyunwoo could not read the Villani text, but Dr. Kiran translated the important parts. Look at this, the doctor said, pointing to a series of messages. 3 days before the attack on your mining facility, Villani Command received intelligence that humans were planning to poison our water supplies. Our military leaders ordered the attack based on this information. But that's not true, Hyunwoo said. We never planned to poison anything. We just wanted to mine crystals and go home. Exactly. And here, Dr. Kiran showed another set of messages. Your Captain Lee received reports that Villani forces were preparing to attack human civilian settlements. Both pieces of intelligence were false. Hyunwoo felt a chill run down his spine. Someone is lying to both sides, making us fight each other. Yes, but who? And why? Over the next few days, Dr. Kiran and his team investigated further. They discovered that many of the intelligence reports came from the same source, a group calling itself the Coordination Council that claimed to represent both human and Villani interests. This Coordination Council has been providing information to both our governments, Dr. Kiran explained. They say they want to prevent conflict, but their information always leads to more fighting. Hyunwoo worked with Nari to understand the pattern. Despite being young, she was very smart and good at solving puzzles. Together, they mapped out all the false intelligence reports on the holographic display. Look, Hyunwoo said, pointing to the timeline. Every time things start to calm down, the Coordination Council provides new information that makes both sides angry again. Nari spoke in her harmonic language, and Dr. Kiran translated. She says it looks like someone wants humans and Villani to destroy each other. That evening, Specialist Doran came running into the medical facility with urgent news. We intercepted a communication signal that was not meant for us, he said, breathing heavily. What kind of signal? Dr. Kiran asked. It was encrypted, but we managed to decode part of it. It came from a ship hiding behind the planet's largest moon. The signal was being sent to both human and Villani forces. Dr. Kiran quickly connected the communication device to the holographic display. Static filled the air, and then a mechanical voice began speaking. Phase 3 proceeding as planned. Human and Villani forces have reduced each other's numbers by 47%. Quantum crystal mining operations disrupted. Estimated timeline for total elimination, 6 months. The voice continued. Nexus collective forces will move to claim the planet once biological species have been eliminated. Long-range strategic objective remains unchanged. Secure exclusive access to quantum crystal resources for interdimensional expansion. The communication ended with coordinates and technical data that meant nothing to Hyunwoo but made Dr. Kiran's skin turn dark with anger. The Nexus collective, Dr. Kiran said. We have heard of them before. They are mechanical beings from another dimension. They want to expand into our galaxy. But why make us fight each other? Hyunwoo asked. Because together humans and Villani might be strong enough to stop them. But if we destroy each other first, they can take everything without a fight. Nari spoke urgently and Dr. Kiran translated. She says we need to warn both sides immediately. Your Captain Lee and our military commanders need to know the truth. But Specialist Doran shook his head sadly. We tried to contact our military leaders. They will not listen. They say we are traitors for helping a human. And my people probably think I'm dead, Hyunwoo added. Even if I could contact Captain Lee, he might not believe me. Dr. Kiran studied the data from the intercepted communication. The Nexus Collective has been very clever. They have agents posing as members of the Coordination Council. These agents have been feeding false information to both sides for months. Hyunwoo felt angry and frustrated. While humans and Villani killed each other over lies, the real enemy was waiting to take everything they had worked for. There has to be something we can do, he said. Nari had been listening quietly, but now she spoke with determination. Dr. Kiran's eyes widened as he translated her words. She says humans are known for doing impossible things. She asks if you have any crazy human ideas that might work. Hyunwoo thought about his sister Ji Young and all the space adventure stories she loved to read. In those stories, heroes always found a way to win against overwhelming odds. The Nexus ship, he said slowly. It's hiding behind the moon, right? What if we could get aboard it and find proof of their manipulation? Real evidence that both sides would have to believe. Dr. Kieran's skin turned pale blue. That would be extremely dangerous. The Nexus Collective uses advanced artificial intelligence and robotic defenses. It would be a suicide mission. Maybe for most people, Hyunwoo said with a smile. But you said it yourself, humans do impossible things. Besides, I have a secret weapon. What secret weapon? Hyunwoo looked at Nari, who was listening intently even though she could not understand all the words. I have friends, and friends help each other no matter what species they are. Nari seemed to understand his meaning, because her skin turned bright yellow with excitement. She spoke rapidly to Dr. Kieran. She says she wants to help, the doctor translated. She says if a human can risk his life to save Vellani children, then a Vellani child can help save everyone. Dr. Kieran looked worried. This is madness. You are barely healed and she is just a child. Sometimes madness is exactly what you need, Hyunwoo replied. The Nexus Collective expects logical, predictable behavior. They won't expect a crazy human plan involving a kid who makes friends with her enemies. As they discussed the idea, Hyunwoo realized something important. The galaxy was full of different species who feared and fought each other. But maybe that was exactly what the real enemies wanted. Maybe the only way to win was to do something completely unexpected. Work together. The plan was simple, which made it very dangerous. Hyunwoo and Nari would sneak aboard the Nexus Collective ship and gather evidence of the manipulation. Then they would broadcast this proof to both human and Vellani forces at the same time. Dr. Kieran did not like the idea, but he agreed to help. If we do nothing, both our species will destroy each other, he said. At least this way, we have a small chance. They spent 3 days preparing. Dr. Kieran's team built a small, fast ship that could avoid detection. They also created special communication equipment that could send messages to both human and Vellani frequencies. Nari was excited but nervous. This would be her first time in space. She had been practicing human words with Hyunwoo and could now say simple phrases like, "Be careful" and "Let's go." Are you sure about this? Hyunwoo asked her on the morning of their mission. It's going to be very dangerous. Nari's skin turned a determined orange color as she spoke. Dr. Kieran translated. She says her grandmother always told her that the bravest thing is not to fight your enemies, but to make friends with them. She wants to be brave like you. Hyunwoo felt proud and worried at the same time. Nari reminded him so much of his sister Ji-young. Both girls were young but wise beyond their years. The journey to the Nexus ship took 6 hours. They flew carefully around the planet's moon, staying hidden behind asteroids and space debris. When they finally saw their target, both Hyunwoo and Nari stared in amazement. The Nexus ship was huge and strange. It looked like a dark metal cube covered with spinning rings and glowing sensors. It was at least 10 times bigger than any human or Vellani vessel. How are we going to get inside that thing? Hyunwoo whispered. Nari pointed to a small opening near the bottom of the ship. It looked like a maintenance port. She spoke to Hyunwoo in her mixed language of Korean and Vellani words. She says it looks like the air recycling system on our ships. Dr. Kieran translated over the radio, small enough for a child to crawl through. They landed their ship on a nearby asteroid and put on special spacesuits. The suits were a combination of human and Vellani technology. They would protect them from the vacuum of space and the ship's internal defenses. Getting to the Nexus ship was the easy part. They used small jetpacks to fly across the empty space between the asteroid and the enemy vessel. The maintenance port was exactly where Nari had pointed. But as soon as they cut through the metal covering, alarms started going off inside the ship. They know we're here, Hyunwoo said into his radio. Then you need to move fast, Dr. Kieran replied from their hidden ship. Find the communication center and upload the evidence program we gave you. Inside the Nexus ship, everything was dark and cold. The walls were made of black metal and pulsed with red lights. Strange mechanical sounds echoed through the corridors. Hyunwoo and Nari moved carefully through the passages. They could hear robotic voices speaking in electronic language. The voices were getting closer. This way, Nari whispered, pulling Hyunwoo down a side corridor. They found themselves in a large room filled with computer screens and communication equipment. This had to be the ship's control center. Data scrolled across dozens of monitors showing battle reports from the war between humans and Vellani. Look at this, Hyunwoo said, pointing to one screen. It showed a detailed plan for the complete elimination of both species. The Nexus Collective had been planning this for years, but before he could activate the evidence program, mechanical guards entered the room. They were tall robots with glowing red eyes and energy weapons. "Biological intruders detected," one robot said in a cold voice. "Terminate immediately." The robots fired their weapons, but Hyunwoo and Nari dove behind the computer equipment. Energy beams crackled over their heads, leaving burn marks on the walls. "I can't reach the main computer," Hyunwoo told Nari. "There are too many of them." But Nari had an idea. She started speaking to the robots in her harmonic language, but she changed the tones to match their electronic speech patterns. The robots stopped shooting and seemed confused. They had never heard biological beings speak in their language before. While the robots tried to understand what Nari was saying, Hyunwoo crawled to the main computer terminal. He inserted the evidence program that Dr. Kieran had prepared. Immediately, the ship's communication system began broadcasting on all frequencies. Every human and Volani receiver in the system would now see the proof of Nexus manipulation. The robots realized they had been tricked and started firing again. But it was too late. The evidence was already spreading across the galaxy. "Mission accomplished," Hyunwoo said into his radio. "Dr. Kieran, get ready for pickup." But their escape route was blocked by more robots. Hyunwoo and Nari were trapped in the control room with enemy machines closing in from all sides. Then something unexpected happened. The ship's internal communication system crackled to life with a familiar voice. "This is Captain Jae-ho Lee of the Human Colonial Forces. Nexus vessel, you are surrounded. Surrender immediately." Through the ship's windows, Hyunwoo could see human and Volani ships working together. They had received the evidence and realized the truth. Now both species were united against their real enemy. The Nexus robots stopped attacking and began emergency evacuation procedures. Their ship was powerful, but it could not fight the combined fleets of two determined species. Dr. Kieran's small ship appeared outside the control room window. "Time to go," he called over the radio. Hyunwoo and Nari blasted through the window using emergency charges from their spacesuits. They flew across the void and into the rescue ship just as the Nexus vessel began to retreat. As they flew back toward the planet, Hyunwoo watched the human and Volani fleets working together to chase away the enemy. For the first time in months, both species were fighting on the same side. "It worked," he said in amazement. "They're actually cooperating." 3 weeks later, Hyunwoo stood in the spaceport preparing to return to Earth. The war was over, and a peace treaty had been signed. Humans and Volani would share the planet and work together to mine the quantum crystals. Nari came to say goodbye, along with Dr. Kieran and many other Volani friends. Her skin was sad blue but also hopeful yellow. "She wants to give you something," Dr. Kieran translated as Nari held out a small container. Inside was a bio-crystal healing device, specially designed for human biology. "For your sister," Dr. Kieran explained. "This should cure her illness completely." Hyunwoo felt tears in his eyes. "Thank you," he said to Nari. "You've saved my sister's life." But Nari wasn't finished. She spoke again, and Dr. Kieran smiled as he translated. "She says when your sister is well, both of you should come back and visit. She wants to show your sister all the beautiful crystals in the caves. She thinks your sister would like to meet friendly aliens." As Hyunwoo's ship lifted off toward Earth, he thought about everything that had happened. He had come to this planet to earn money through hard work. Instead, he had learned that the greatest treasures in the galaxy were friendship and understanding. His sister Ji-young had been right all along. People could be friends if they tried to understand each other. It didn't matter if they were human, Volani, or any other species. Sometimes the most human thing you could do was to see the humanity in others, no matter how different they might appear. Back on the planet's surface, construction crews were already building a new joint research facility. Humans and Volani would work side by side, sharing their knowledge and technology. The galaxy was a big place with many dangers, but now two species had learned to face those dangers together, and that perhaps was the most powerful force in the universe.